Hi team, Melissa from Melissa versus Fibromyalgia here, and I am hopping on today to talk about my theory about the theories of fibromyalgia. So, I don't really have one theory that I align with. The one thing that I know to be consistent is complexity. So there is a lot going on. Research shows that by the time that we are diagnosed, we've seen a lot of doctors experience a lot of symptoms for a long time. And so, no matter how it started, a lot of processes have been going on for some time. I do know that there are kind of 6 key areas that I follow and have used for myself and use in coaching and when I write on my blog. And those areas are what Dr. Lipton in the Fibro Manual and Dr. Teitelbaum in From Fatigue to Fantastic books write about. Now, they are both authors who write about fibromyalgia. They are doctors and they have fibromyalgia themselves. So I really enjoy their work and really appreciate their work, but alongside that I've done a lot of research myself and read a lot of things and practiced on myself. Now, the number one thing again is complexity. So for example, I have fibromyalgia and myofascial pain syndrome. So they work together really heavily, and so that's really been difficult teasing it apart, but it has made a huge difference for me. It's really helped me to move forward. Since we have found out about the myofascial pain syndrome, it's really helped. So that's really solidified my belief in that perpetuating factors bit. So in terms of dealing with the fibromyalgia, these 6 key areas, they hit kind of root causes, they hit multiple symptoms, and they're pretty much what you ought to do as a normal human being in the most case. So if you have limited energy, if you are trying to figure out what to do, I would hone in on these 6 things, and I'll tell you a bit later on which I would focus on first if you have to break it down even further. But number 1 is sleep. Sleep is super important. Both Dr. Lipton and Dr. Teitelbaum suggest that the sleep problem in fibromyalgia is so severe that they often have to use a few low-dose medicines to help their patients get sleep. But what happens is once their patients are consistently getting 8 hours a night of restorative sleep, then they start to improve. And so sleep is the first thing. Now, things like sleep hygiene and natural sleep help are something that you can work on yourself, or I can work on with you in coaching, but you do have to rule out sleep disorders and you have to talk meds with your doctor. So that's kind of one of those things where you have to be really actively involved in managing the process. And self-efficacy is really vital. Unless you have a doctor who is really super onto it to guide you through the process, you're going to have to do a lot of work yourself. But even if you do have a doctor supporting you through the process, you have to take responsibility and do the work yourself. And I know that that sounds really scary when you're really tired and really sore, but it's really exciting because you get to know now that there are things you can do. I didn't know that before. I didn't have anyone who said anything I could do. I just knew that I was living in misery. I didn't know how to help myself, and I had to do a lot of work to find things to help myself. No one said, here, if you do these 6 things, you will improve your quality of life. And I would have loved that. That would have saved me a lot of misery. It would have saved me a lot of heartbreak, and it would have saved me my 20s when I should have been having fun instead of being sick. So that's why I do what I do. So sleep is number 1. Number 2 is central nervous system. So talking about the overactivity and talking about sensitization, there's a lot of ways to calm it down, but the reality is we need to calm it down. We need to calm our stress response down. We need to eliminate stress. We can't eliminate stress because we're human beings with lives, but we need to reduce the stress, and then we need to increase our resilience to stress. And there are lots of ways to calm, but I am particularly into mindfulness and meditation. That's why I became a mindfulness coach. I've meditated every day for the last 5 years. I find it very helpful. And I talk about that more in the Fibromyalgia 101 Central Nervous System micro course, and I also talk about it obviously more in depth in my mindfulness for the chronic life course. But that is super important. I feel that kind of hits a lot of the root cause and hits a lot of symptoms. The third thing is perpetuating factors. Now, this is really important. So like I said before, with the myofascial pain syndrome, other illnesses play into the fibromyalgia, and they kind of make a bad cycle together. So you have to really hit those. So for example, even further into that, there are certain deficiencies associated with myofascial pain syndrome, which makes it very hard to get treatment that works for myofascial pain syndrome. And the more the myofascial pain syndrome plays up, the more the fibromyalgia is going to play up, because they act together. So it's really just that one component is complex, right? But it makes a big difference. And so the other things are infections or hormones. So, for example, if you have any infections that are playing up, or if you have anything that was kind of a causative factor, and hormones. So thyroid, they're showing that subclinical thyroid issues. So that means on the low end of normal. So you wouldn't be diagnosed hypothyroid or anything, but just having those lower levels can cause issues and can make us symptomatic. And so helping our thyroid can help both the myofascial pain syndrome and the fibromyalgia. So there's a lot of things that are playing in together, and there's also the lifestyle factors. So for a lot of us, the diagnosis process has been long. The illness trajectory has been long. So a lot of things are going on, but our lifestyle is something we have to hit. We cannot keep going the way we were before. I don't believe that you can keep working really long hours, burning yourself out and pushing yourself and get better. You do need to come into alignment with what energy you have right now. And I didn't start to get better until I made the giant lifestyle change that I made. So that again is another big complex factor. The fourth thing is nutrition and exercise. So I don't believe in making food a battleground. Some people find really great results from specific ways of eating, and that's really exciting for them. I think my principles are avoid what you're allergic or intolerant to, and prioritize fruit and vegetables and whole grains. So from what I've seen of people who love their own diets, the thing that overarches all of them is promoting fruit and vegetables. So it's just about eating healthy and fueling yourself right. And it is very unique. So for example, I have reactive hypoglycemia. So I don't have white carbs, but I do need whole grain carbs to help me fuel myself appropriately and keep everything even. So that's something that really takes time to look into. And again, deficiencies are another thing. So we do have to look at what we're deficient in. I'm quite deficient in iron, which has a lot of flow-on effects. A lot of us are deficient in magnesium. So there's a lot of things going on there that we need to look into. Now, exercise is a big thing. I'm not talking about graded exercise therapy or 45 minutes of hardcore exercise. I'm talking about using your muscles as you can, because muscles were made to move. So if you can stretch. If you can do chair yoga, do chair yoga. If you can go for a 10-minute gentle walk, do that. But whatever it means for you, move those muscles. And then pain management. Now this is really important, but it's also more of a band-aid kind of thing. So we can talk natural options and your plan. You can make plans for general every day. You can make targeted symptom plans, and you can make a flare plan. And I go through a lot of those things in the Pain Management and Fibromyalgia 101, but of course I go in depth in the coaching and the courses. But you can look up natural pain relief options and make your plans. And then alongside that, you can talk with your doctor about medicines. I tend to prioritize natural options over medicines, but medicine definitely have a place. So again, that can be quite a tricky area. And the sixth is energy and pacing. So again, that's more about coming into a line with what's going on and pacing accordingly so that you can save yourself extra pain and fatigue, which can be quite tricky. And also energy. So like I said, there's a lot of factors going on, and it's often a long journey. So there's a lot of flow-on effects from living with chronic sleep deprivation and chronic pain and chronic fatigue and deficiencies. So I hope this has given you a good overview of the kind of 6 key things that I think of when I think of fighting fibromyalgia. Now, if you want more information, you can come to the Melissa versus Fibromyalgia Facebook group, where we have chats most days about how to help when we're living with fibromyalgia. You can look up my Fibromyalgia 101 foundational micro courses, and so they go through 6 key areas, starting with knowledge about fibromyalgia, so that you can kind of start your fight maybe yourself, You can also look up those books I talked about, The Fibro Manual and From Fatigue to Fantastic. And you can also take advantage of the complimentary wellbeing consult with me. So if you want to talk about the possibility of coaching with me, either as a group or one-on-one, you are more than welcome to do that, and I'll put the link below so that you can schedule that. Obviously it's no obligation. I have a chat with you. If it works or doesn't work, it's all good. I just want to help you reduce your journey. So let me know what you think about these key areas. Do any of them resonate with you? Have you found any benefit working on these? Is there an area that you would include? So let us know in the comments below, and I hope to speak to you again soon. Bye.